In this world, perhaps. But in my world, your world. What nonsense.
You'll have noticed the obvious differences between the 1951 animated Alice in Wonderland and Tim Burton's 2010 live-action version. But there are fascinating secrets about how each movie was made that'll leave you as confused as Alice herself at the Mad Hatter's unbirthday party. From the little-known filming techniques to the clever casting of each film, go behind the scenes of the wonderful world of Wonderland to discover just how these amazing movies were created.
I thought we'd settled this. I'm Alice.
Let's start with the main character and the differences between the two. Of course, the films are based on the book by the 19th century English writer Lewis Carroll. In fact, there were two stories, Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass. In Walt Disney's 1951 movie, Alice's age and situation are very close to the source material. She's a little girl who's bored and follows a white rabbit down a hole. There, she discovers Wonderland. In Tim Burton's 2010 movie, she's a 19-year-old. She wanders away from her engagement party, wondering whether to go through with the marriage. That's quite the difference. But she too follows a white rabbit and falls down a hole to Underland. In 1951, Alice just wants to go home and is fed up with all the madness. But in 2010, Alice is pursuing her destiny, and in a suit of armor no less.
I can slay the Jabberwocky.
As for how they were brought to life on screen, that shines a light on the differences in filming methods. The way the movies were put together is by far the most obvious difference between the 1951 and 2010 film. And it's not simply animation versus live action. The 1951 movie is entirely animated, of course, but it wasn't just a case of drawing pictures. The actor behind Alice, Catherine Beaumont, didn't just provide her voice. She was also the live-action reference model. That means that she actually acted out the scenes. She explained Disney often used footage of actors to guide and inspire the animators as they drew each scene. In the 2010 movie, Tim Burton deliberately opened up the creative process and used a lot of different filming techniques. He used motion capture, green screen, live action, and pure animation. This meant that shots didn't fully manifest themselves until the end. Mia Wasikowska, who plays Alice in the 2010 movie, explained that usually you have other actors to bounce off or get the tone from. But with their green screen filming, she'd be doing a scene with a character when they're not there, so she didn't know what that actor would be giving her to react to. Catherine Beaumont, however, did have the other voice actors right there with her.
We'll have to look into this. Aha!
The differences in the way the movies were created are perfectly shown by comparing the Mad Hatter and the March Hare's tea party scenes. Looking at the making of the 1951 movie, we see Ed Wynn, an old vaudeville star, providing the voice and live-action reference for the Mad Hatter. He ad-libbed and messed around, doing things that weren't rehearsed. The animators sketched him and he made everybody laugh with his off-the-cuff jokes. They recorded the sound as well and actually used that in the movie, because when they got him in the recording booth to lay down the lines clean, it just wasn't as funny. In the 2010 version, it's almost like the opposite took place. We can see Johnny Depp as the Mad Hatter sitting at the tea party table with a young actor playing small Alice. But that's it. And that's because, as an animal character, the March Hare was fully animated. So Johnny Depp had to talk to thin air rather than another actor. He's in front of a green screen, so the different ways of creating the movie could combine in final edit, with live-action actors starring alongside animated animals.
How is it you're being so great big? I'm certain she's smaller when we met.
For the human characters, Tim Burton used a combination of live action and motion capture, and we can see how this process played out by going behind the scenes with the making of Tweedledee and Tweedledum. English actor Matt Lucas played both twins in the 2010 movie. He was filmed in motion capture suits for his body movements against a green screen, but his actual face was used from live action filming.
I had this big suit that from head to toe pretty much that could track my movements, but my face was visible, and it is actually my face that you see on the two characters.
It was very important for the director to be able to use the real actors' faces in particular. He explained that the human characters needed to blend in with the Wonderland world. The audience needed to see their eyes, them, but in a mutated, refined form. The use of motion capture suits, however, helped Tim Burton create the difference in size between Alice and Wonderland's strange inhabitants. And of course, double up one actor into two characters. In the 1951 movie, however, the Tweedle Twins were purely animated. They have the same kind of crazy logic and argumentative personality traits as their 2010 counterparts. But Walt didn't have to use a body double and CGI to place the same actor in the shot twice like Tim Burton had to.
Someone has stolen three of my toys!
The Red Queen is another character in the 2010 movie that was filmed using both live-action and camera trickery techniques. Tim Burton used a digital Dalsa video camera when he wanted to get really close up and really enlarge her features. The inflated head shows how Tim Burton's Red Queen was also inspired by Tennille's drawing of the Duchess character in the stories. She's also a combination of the Red Queen from Lewis Carroll's Through the Looking Glass and the Queen of Hearts from Alice's Adventures in Wonderland. And even during Lewis Carroll's lifetime, the two queens got confused. So it's no surprise that many film adaptations combine the two. This also happened in the 1951 animation, where the Queen of Hearts uses dialogue from the Red Queen. In the 1951 movie, Walt used the live-action reference process for the Queen of Hearts scenes too. While she had a normal-sized head, she was much bigger in general than Alice. What are the other differences between the queens in the two films? Well, there's inspiration. Many commentators believed Lewis Carroll's original to be a caricature of Queen Victoria. And for the 1951 Queen, Walt reportedly said that she was somewhat based on gossip columnist Luella Parsons, who wore her hair in a dark bun. Disney historian Les Perkins also admitted that
it's not uncommon for the studio to take people they know
and caricature them in an animated film. However, he then showed a picture of Alice Davis, who was the wife of animator Mark Davis, and did a lot of costume work for Disney. As for the 2010 Queen, Helena Bonham Carter revealed that she based the bossy character on her 2-year-old daughter, Nell. The actor could see many similarities between the Queen and a toddler, being a tyrant, no sympathy, no empathy, just commands, and it's all about her. Wonder what Nell thinks of that now.
This is impossible.
There are plenty of characters that are in both movies, including those we've already mentioned: Alice, the Mad Hatter, the Queen, Tweedledum and Tweedledee, and the White Rabbit. But the 2010 movie includes more characters from the original source material. There's the White Queen, who is played by Anne Hathaway, and there's the Jabberwock, or Jabberwocky, in Lewis Carroll's nonsense poem and Tim Burton's film. In Sir John Tenniel's illustrations for Lewis Carroll's book, it's a pretty freaky creature, and the film version doesn't stray too far from the source. But did you know that Walt Disney did intend to include the Jabberwock in his 1951 animation, right up until a year before the film was released? He'd planned a sequence where the Cheshire Cat sings about the dragon, and 2 other freaky creatures too. Beware the Jabberwock, the Jub, and the Bandersnatch. But Walt thought the Jabberwock was too scary, or the sequence was too long, and so it got cut. They found the original sheet music for the cut song I'm Odd in the vaults and released it decades later. The huge dragon creature was, however, included in the 2010 movie. And given that it's pretty terrifying, you can see why Walt didn't think the dragon would have sat well in the cartoon. So Walt had to cut characters. But did you know that he also added a character of his own imagining? And that's the talking doorknob. He was created in order to avoid a long explanatory monologue at the beginning of the story. But that's not the only interesting thing about that scene. We can compare the different approaches to shooting the movie with the scene where Alice tries to open the door. She has to grow bigger and smaller to make it work. There's footage of Catherine Beaumont acting out the scene with a prop for the 1951 version. This is an example of the live-action reference process they used, so the animators could create believable moments. Look behind the scenes of the 2010 version, however, and Tim Burton simply used a live-action scene of Mia Wasikowska trying to open the door. When it comes to getting bigger, the animators could easily draw this difference for the earlier movie. But in the later movie, they had to create a set that made it look like Alice was big. There wasn't any CGI or camera trickery. It was just a very small room. Now that you've seen behind the scenes, has it changed your opinion about the films? Which Alice in Wonderland movie do you prefer? Be sure to tell us in the comment section and hit that subscribe button to know when we release more videos like this. Thanks for watching!